Hey folks, the next speaker I want to introduce to you is Mr. E. Brian Rose. He's a well-known figure in the internet marketing industry. He's been doing it for a really long time. He's also the guy that started JV Zoo. And he's going to talk to us about information and why people will always buy information and what kind of information you should be putting out there, as well as building authority and how to get people to believe that you are a guru in your industry. Cheers. Enjoy.
Oh, that's a cool tip. And it was worth the entire book just to get one tip that you might use. People are information junkies. And you can make a lot of money selling information. Because information equals what? Money, money, money. That's right. Information never goes out of style or gets affected by the economy. The economy actually adapts to information. If the economy is really low, and nobody has money and people are being laid off, well, I'm going to start producing ebooks teaching people how to get jobs, teaching people how to invest small amounts of money. You know, has anybody ever heard of the lipstick factor? The lipstick factor, they figured this out back in the Great Depression days. In the Great Depression, the entire world was broke, especially in the United States, and women couldn't afford to buy new dresses or buy new handbags. So what did they do? They bought the cheapest type of accessory they could get, and that was lipstick. And lipstick sales went through the roof. So the economy will adapt, whether it's information or products. It doesn't matter how bad the economy is. It doesn't matter how bad people are suffering. They're always going to buy something to get them out of that suffering and move them into another direction. If the banks aren't lending, there's people selling ebooks on how to buy money without getting a loan. You know, any situation you can come up with, the stock market crashes, people will tell you how to take advantage of that. People take advantage of things and they want to know how those people do it, and they're willing to pay for it. So it doesn't matter what the economy is, information never goes out of style, never gets affected. How many people have downloaded one of these, added their name to an email list? Nobody? Nobody's opted into anything here. How many of you own opt-in sites by the dozens? Probably most of you. Bunch of scammers. Spammers. The concept of this, the download your free report, we all know it. Get you into the funnel so that I can bombard you with more information. Now the smart marketers are sticking to one topic. So if you ask somebody to download an ebook on e-commerce or setting up an e-commerce store, and they get on your mailing list, and then you start sending them emails for a great video production kit or something like that, that's really not making the most of what that person has already told you they're interested in. Is Todd Gross in here? Oh, he's outside. Okay, so how many of you are familiar with Todd? Todd Gross is a great marketer. Actually, Todd was my weatherman when I was growing up. There he is. Todd Gross. Todd was my weatherman when I was growing up in Boston, which makes him old. No, I was a teenager right before I left for the military, and Todd was our weatherman. But Todd is very successful at what he does for one reason. He sticks to one topic. Am I right about that?
More or less, yes.
Which is pornography, right? Video production. He built a list on people making videos online. He took something that he knew about. Todd was in television for many, many years and decided that, hey, when the bandwidth got there, he started doing television on the internet. You know, we call it streaming video. So he built a list of people that were interested in streaming video, and he only sells products related to streaming video. What a concept. Todd's one of the top affiliate marketers on JV Zoo. And that means he's making more money than almost everybody else that's sending the flavor of the week to their lists. So Todd has become expert famous in one particular niche. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So who here is in the IM niche? Make money online, build business online, get traffic, that kind of thing? Yeah. Most of you. So one of the biggest misnomers in the IM niche is marketers believe the best way to get ahead is to teach internet marketers how to do internet marketing. How many people have been caught in that trap? Don't lie. We all probably started out in that trap. Oh, this guy taught me how to make money online, so he taught me how to build a list of people that want to make money online, so now I'm going to teach these people how to make money online. And most people that are teaching you how to make money online are in that little circle, meaning that most of them have never made money online. However, if you take the little bit of information that you've learned, like, I don't know, what was the first step? Build a list. And you take that outside the internet marketing world, that stuff is like magic. Because what you're doing as internet marketers right now is like a magician standing on a stage full of an audience full of other magicians. They know the tricks. They know that the upsell's coming. How many people, you remember the Warrior Forum had the WSO section where you could buy, all these internet marketing courses? There would always be 10 or 12 people that would make a comment under there. Is there an OTO? Well, guess what? When you're selling how to make money in the stock market, how to invest your money, how the best way to negotiate a car, how to buy real estate, or any other type of information where you're marketing to people that are not marketers, they don't know what the frickin' OTO is. They don't know that when you send a mass mailing out through your autoresponder and it says, "Dear Bill, blah, blah, blah," they don't know that Susie and Joey and everybody else is getting the exact same email. They're getting an email from you personally, and they're like, "Wow, I know this guy, I like this guy, I trust this guy." And they think that it's personal. The little bit of knowledge that you have in internet marketing goes a huge way outside of the internet marketing world. And it is so easy to become a well-known expert. If you go to like real estate agencies, real estate agencies have hundreds and hundreds of people that are working for them. Even the smallest towns, have 50, 60 employees that are working for them, and most of them aren't making a lick of money. And they're looking for people like you that can teach them how to get leads, how to build an email list, and what to email that list once they have them. And if you can come in there and give them those 3 basic tips, they look to you like you're a god. And then you go to the rest of your community or online to real estate agents everywhere, and I'm just using real estate as an example, as the expert that teaches realtors how to get more leads, how to get more buyers, how to get more sellers. And you can easily position yourself as that expert and pick any niche, and replace it with real estate agencies. That makes sense? Yeah. Because your little bit of knowledge goes so much further instead of just being a magician teaching other magicians. And let me tell you what, the money is so much better outside of internet marketing. You're not competing for the same exact people over and over and over again. So if you have any knowledge whatsoever in IM, I suggest you become the go-to expert in whatever field interests you, because your limited magic goes a long way outside this industry. So everybody knows something about something, and everybody can throw all that something on a piece of paper, make it a 10-page ebook. Anybody can do that. And if you can package what little knowledge or vast knowledge that you have and market it to outside the IM, you're going to see your revenues skyrocket. And we've seen this happen. We've talked to people from conferences. We've taken 5 or 6 people that have been, maybe a year or 2 into the IM world, and we've taken them and said, "Hey, take exactly that ebook that you just wrote for internet marketers and just replace it all with a real estate feel or an insurance salesman's feel." And they came back and said, "Oh my God, I'm selling ebooks, I'm selling the video series, upsells, I'm selling one-on-one coaching," and the coaching is huge money. Huge money. People are willing to pay a lot of money if it means they'll make more sales. So here's an example of a guy. Anybody ever seen this guy?
No.
I couldn't tell you his name. His name slips me, but I actually subscribe to his YouTube channel. This is one of his most watched videos. And I'm gonna read the title to you if you can't see it. 4 ways to tuck in a shirt. How to properly tuck in your dress shirt. And this video, if you look over here, when I took this screenshot, had 715,000 people. That means 715,000 people actually went on Google searching for how to tuck in a shirt. He also has best way to keep up your socks. Keep your socks from falling down. How to make old shoes look new again. All kinds of tips like this. This guy is the go-to expert in men's fashion. If you Google this video, you'll see that this number is no longer 715,000, it's now 2.5 million. So 2.5 million people can't tuck in their shirts. At the time, he had over 250,000 subscribers. And he also pitches his website, where you can download his free ebook on how to tuck your shirt in and 10 other tips to make you look better than the guy next to you. And what happens when you get on that email list? Just like in the internet marketing world, he tries to sell you things. He'll send you emails every single week with tips and upsells. And once you buy something from him, guess what? There's an OTO. There's a one-time offer. But none of his clients are expecting it. None of his clients are thinking, oh, this guy's just another one of those marketers. His clients are saying, hey, here's a guy that's giving me tips every single week. Here's a guy that's making these videos, and these videos are 1 to 2 minutes. Actually, this one's 7 minutes to tuck in a shirt. Most of his videos are like 1 to 2 minutes long, but apparently there's, I don't know if I did it right or not. I'm feeling very self-conscious now. Does it look okay? I got this bulge here that kind of makes it difficult.
I'll put a video for you.
You got a video for me? Yeah, there you go. So you can become an expert in anything you can imagine. If this guy can become an expert on how to keep your socks up and how to tuck in your shirt, do you think that you know something that somebody's willing to pay money for? It's all about content. You put the content out there, like videos like this, and then once they get onto your email list, you send them tips every single week. They start looking at you in a different light. You're no longer just this normal guy, but you are an expert in your field. And you know what else helps? Telling people that you're an expert in your field. Start thinking of yourself as an expert, and others will start thinking about you. You know, no matter what your niche is, the goal should be to achieve expert fame. And today, I'm going to show you some easy ways on how to do that. You know, people are looking for somebody to follow. You know, everybody wants to know something about something, whether it's how to do better in school, how to get a better job. They look at somebody. You know, we all have envy. We all are envious of the next guy that's doing something that we want to be doing. So we're looking for somebody to follow, somebody that will show us the way, right? We've all been there. How many people have mentors here? How many people have mentors that the mentor doesn't even know because you watch all their videos and you read all their emails and you just, I don't want to say idolize, but you really look up to this person and you're saying, yeah, man, I'm going to start doing it like this and like that. You know, I meet people all the time and say, you know, you don't know this, but I've been following everything that you do. I've changed the way I speak on stage. I've changed the way I dress. I've changed the way I do this based on what you do. And then they get a restraining order on me. But there's a lot of mentors out there that don't even realize they're mentors. And that's not by accident. That's by design. Because they're putting the content out there that people want. You know, expert fame also allows you to command an audience to do things. I mean, and they do it. It's really interesting. And where that can come into play is, you know, when at the end of somebody's talk, how many times have you ever seen them ask for money? And how many times have you given a person money at the end of their talk? You know, rush to the back of the room and fill out the order forms. Or at the end of a webinar, somebody impressed you so much with whatever free information it was that you are just so ready to give them money. Who has done that? Yeah, because when you're expert famous, 3 people raise their hand, you fucking liars. When you're expert famous, it's easy to get people to do what you're asking them to do, and what we want them to do as marketers is give us money, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrong marketers here. Worst marketers ever. They don't want money. So hey, let's do a. I want to show you a quick example of something. Okay, everybody want to participate in an experiment? Okay, so everybody stand for just a second. This is a really good experiment. No, that's it. The experiment's over. That's pretty much it. You can sit down, guys. I grew up in Boston. I didn't go to college. I went straight into the military at 18 years old, and there's me in basic training. And if you told me when I was 18 that I'd be standing on a stage in front of some of the most professional people in an industry, and famous people here in this audience, and I would be able to tell them all to stand up on one foot or whatever, and they would do it, I wouldn't believe you. I would have said you're crazy. But just the fact that I'm standing on a stage, I mean, that really does something in there, because since we're little kids, we look at people on TV and we're led to believe that they know more than us. People on a stage, we're led to believe that they know more than us. And the beautiful thing is, it used to be a good old boys club. You really had to know somebody to get on television. You had to know somebody to get on stage. But these days, we all have a stage. The internet, we can all be that person. And you can have a studio in your one-bedroom apartment that makes it look like you are the man or the woman. And people will respond to that. Who knows who this big-headed man is? Has anybody ever seen him in person? He's got a really big noggin, huh? I mean, he's got a huge head. I mean, like, abnormally large. So, what's his name? Yell it out. Tony Robbins. So, Tony Robbins is pretty famous, right? How did Tony Robbins get famous? I wondered that one day. I said, how did this all begin for Tony Robbins? He didn't just wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm gonna be the #1 guru in the world and everybody's gonna love me. So I did a little bit of research and I typed into Google, how did Tony Robbins get famous? And I came up with a Quora. Is it Quora? Quora? How do you say that word? Is it Quora? Okay. Somebody corrected me once and said, no, it's not Quora, it's Quora. Whatever, dude. So I found this Quora page where somebody asked the question, how did Tony Robbins get famous? And here was the first answer that I saw. This guy, William Hayes, he says, Tony became famous by having a passion for what he does and pursuing it with vigor. He has an amazing capacity for being able to synthesize large amounts of information, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, yes. Because everybody passionate and everybody good at what they does becomes as famous as Tony Robbins, right? Bullshit. The next one, Anonymous said this. Masterful manipulation of the masses. He isn't the first, and then she gives the disclaimer. He isn't the first, and he won't be the last to pull it off. Masterful manipulation. Joyce Gibson says, firewalking. And then Benji Bruce, who's a keynote speaker that speaks at a lot of events like this one, says the very first sentence tells it all. Tony became famous because of his infomercial. Right? Who remembers the infomercials? The late 80s, 90s? So here's the story, in case you didn't know. Tony wasn't a rich guy. He said, hey, I have a cool concept. I have a cool way of motivating people. And I want to package it up into something that I want to sell. So he went to some investors and said, hey, what can we do to get this out to the masses? So they put up 97% of the money and said, we're going to produce some infomercials for you. And we're gonna buy all the time on late night TV. And you're gonna get famous that way. And he said, yeah, okay, we'll try it. So he started showing up on every single channel. And remember, back in the late 80s, some of us didn't even have remote controls. We actually had to get up, walk over, and turn the channel. So when you're laying in bed at night and an infomercial comes on and you're trying to fall asleep, you're not gonna get out of bed to turn the station. But at the end, when an 800 number comes up for something that you really thought was a cool thing to buy, the phone's right by your bed. Easy to call, 1-800. But wait, there's more. So Anthony Robbins didn't get famous from being the best at what he does. Anthony Robbins got famous by being in our face over and over and over again. Now, at the end of the run of these infomercials, he didn't make a lot of money. 97% of it went to his investors. You know, tens of millions of dollars came in from all the products that Tony was selling, and he didn't get rich off of it. But what did Tony get? Expert fame. That's right, where Tony can walk into a room and everybody knows who that big head belongs to. And he became expert famous through repetition, through being in your face over and over and over again. And here's the beautiful thing about it. Today, I got ahead of myself. Okay, today, we have something so much better than what Tony Robbins had. Tony Robbins would throw a lot of shit against the wall and see what sticks. And that's what remnant advertising in the 80s and 90s was. The infomercial. They run from, anywhere from midnight to 5 a.m. and they still run like that. You can flip through the channels and find infomercials all over the place. And that's just throwing a lot of crap against the wall and seeing what sticks. It's not targeted. It's just reaching out to the masses repetitively over and over and over again. And we have such an advantage over what Tony Robbins and all the other infomercial guys from the 80s and 90s had, because we have the internet and we have Facebook, and Facebook ads combined with webinars. That's the new infomercial. But guess what? We're not throwing a lot of crap against the wall with these infomercials. We can target exactly who we want to see these infomercials, unlike you can do on cable television or broadcast television. You can't do that other than just picking the station that you want to be on it. And these days, people don't flip through the channels anymore. We have little guides at the bottom of our screen. So infomercials really aren't getting the views that they once got back in the day of Tony Robbins, when people were too lazy to get up and actually turn the station. But even those people, probably 90% of the people that watched those videos, those infomercials on TV, that wasn't the target market. Am I right? So we threw a lot of crap on the wall, and we don't have to do that because we can laser target. I don't care if your audience is 200 people. You can laser target them on the internet with Facebook ads, Google ads, and the like. And we have such an advantage over Tony Robbins because we don't have to produce these multi-million-dollar infomercials. We can produce webinars. And webinars are just like infomercials. If people see you over and over and over again. See, I think people got into this thing because, I don't know, some guru might have said it, 7, 8 years ago. You gotta do live, you have to do live. Guess what? Tony Robbins didn't walk on fire live every day on 400 different channels at 3 o'clock in the morning. We invented videotape for a reason, and now we have streaming video where it's just a file. It doesn't have to be live. You just got to get in front of the people over and over and over again in front of your targeted audience, and they start to think, this is the guy, this is the man, he's in my face. And it's inexpensive to do, and yet so few of you are doing it. I own a company called JVZoo. I don't know if anybody uses it. We get a lot of marketers using our software. Internet marketers, 99% are professional internet marketers making all of their money online, and they don't get that concept yet. I've tried to ingrain it into them. The people that will take on this infomercial type mindset, targeted infomercial mindset, are going to be the people that rise to the top. How many people have ever heard of automated webinars? Automated webinars, man. That's the tool that's going to make a lot of people famous in a very quick time. Hey, anybody ever seen ads like this? Free training, sign up for 7 strategies to get your business up and running. This one's Amy Porterfield. She puts on a lot of good training. I always thought Amy had one problem with her ads. Her ads are always showing up in my newsfeed. Anybody seen ads from Amy? Amy forgets to do one thing. She makes these snazzy little free training 7 strategies. She forgets to put her face in there. like this person, Maria Andros, she makes videos on how to make better videos. And she puts her face out there. So the people that are seeing her over and over and over again, it starts getting embedded into your head. They start thinking, oh, successful online video, and they think of her. They picture her face. So now every time they see her face, they think of successful video production online. And that's how she's associating herself with what she does, by showing face what I do, face what I do. And another good example of it is Diane LaFront. She runs these over and over and over again on Facebook. Face, massive media exposure. So when you're making your ads and you're marketing yourself and you're trying to get expert famous, use your face. And you don't even have to be great looking, because you know there are ugly experts out there. So it's okay if you are a little handicapped in the looks department. Nobody cares as long as they associate your face with what you're selling and what they're looking for. I need massive media exposure. Oh yeah, I remember that girl. And then you click on it and it goes to a page like this. Claim my spot. Here's a beautiful thing. I first learned about this through actually by clicking on her links a couple of years ago. This is a really cool trick. You click on it and there's a timer there. Time left until webinar starts. 1 minute, 42 seconds. 2 days later, I clicked on it again, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm lucky. I'm just in time again. And then I found out the feature is actually called Just in Time. It makes people think that they're just in time for a webinar that's just starting. So, you know, nobody's lying and saying that it's live and that you can speak to me right now. But then again, they didn't say that in infomercials either. But they always started on the half hour at 1 o'clock or 1:30. So automated webinars are the new infomercial, and they really work. And the beautiful thing about this is, how many times have you ever done a webinar and like barely anybody showed up? We've all been there. You know, maybe a JV partner with somebody that promises you 200-300 people are going to show up, and how many people show up? You know, like 12 people show up, and then for the rest of the time, in the back of your mind, you're staring at the stats on the side. You know, 3 people left, we're down to 7 people. And your energy level is like down in the dumps, and you're just like, I can't believe I'm spending 2 hours of my time for a webinar that converts 10%, and there's only 6 people in the audience, you know? So that means I'm gonna get 0.6 buyers today. And it's hard to get excited, right? It's hard to keep that enthusiasm up. And that doesn't happen with these, because you're just as excited if 1 person is watching as you would be if 1 million people were watching. So you throw up a great webinar that you've done as an automated webinar, and every single time 1 person or 100 people sign on to that particular webinar that starts in 1 minute and 42 seconds, they always see you at your best. You know, I've talked to people and they're like, nope, I perform the same way if it's 1 person or 1 million people. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Money makes us excited, you know, and if there's no potential of making money, then we're not as excited as we are when we think, hey, I might be able to buy a new car at the end of this webinar. So that little time left until webinar starts, I think that's a really, really cool feature. It's called Just-in-Time feature in automated webinars. We'll do this. You can set them for 1 minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, or whatever. So that when people jump on that subscription page, there's like, oh, I don't want to miss this, you know. And you catch them right when they're interested in it. You know, the same way that an OTO works. You know, they bought something, so obviously they're interested. They have their credit card or PayPal buttoned in their hand already, so I might as well hit them again. And that's why, you know, McDonald's, you want fries with that? You're already here. You look really hungry. You look like you really don't need these fries, but do you want fries with that? You know, the upsell works when they're buying something related. So the upsell works right here because the upsell is to get them to watch. They already clicked on it. Clicking on it was the purchase, even though it didn't cost them anything. And now the upsell is, give me your email address and start watching this video. so that I can bombard you with marketing material for the rest of your life. So Facebook lets you automate your success. Facebook ads combined with automated webinars, that is the Tony Robbins success model times 1,000. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
So you want to automate your webinars just like you would your emails. You know, you have autoresponders in your emails, right? You might set up, 6 months worth of them and then just let them go and they do their thing. You want to do the same thing with webinars. Set them up, let them go, let them do their thing, and that way you can come to Vegas and sit in places like this and listen to people like me while you're making money at home, right? Woo, someone said woo. And you know what? The residual benefit of all this is the Tony Robbins effect. You get famous just because your ads are out there with your picture next to what you do, and people start putting you in their mind, you become that expert in whatever field. And these automated webinars that they'll watch, people will watch a webinar 4 or 5 times sometimes before they buy. I worked in radio and television for many, many years, and the advertising guys would always say the same thing. Nobody buys or takes an action on a radio ad they hear the first time. It takes 6 times for somebody that actually does buy something to hear that ad. And sometimes the same thing works for webinars. So when you do one live webinar for a group of people, that's it. It's done. But if you remarket to these people, how many people do replays, send out the replays? Most of you do that. If you don't do it, you should be doing it if you're doing live. But most people only send the replay out one time. People want to watch over and over and over. And then they say, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So repetitiveness actually works. So again, this company, JVZoo, I'm going to get a little pitchy here for a second, and I'm going to tell you about something that's really, really cool. And then we're going to get into some really good tips. I haven't even started yet, okay? So give me say okay if it's okay if I do a 3-minute commercial.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So JVZoo just launched very quietly. We haven't put out any videos on it yet. We haven't done any advertising or marketing to our members yet, but that's happening in the next week or so. For the last 6 months, we've been beta testing this with some of the best marketers in the internet. Automated webinars. Now, who here subscribes to an automated webinar site out there? What site do you subscribe to?
We have our own automated
You have your own, okay. And name one of the commercial sites out there. Webinar Jam. There's a few others that charge monthly, just like GoToWebinar does. So JVZoo just incorporated automated webinars, and this is really cool. JVZoo works because we have an army of affiliates that we tell about all these products at the vendors. And that's why people use JVZoo. If you're asking, why can't I just put a PayPal link? Well, it's the whole integration of the affiliates. You're not gonna get 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 affiliates mailing for you if you're not in a network like JVZoo where people can find your products. So we went to our affiliates and said, hey, what can we do to better your experience? And they said, well, we want higher ticket items, we want better commissions, we want to be able to make more money for our buck. And we went to the vendors and said, what can we do for you? And they said, we want the affiliates to make more money because when they make more money, we make more money. So everybody wanted more money, so webinars seemed to be where everybody was going. And before we launched JVZoo, we had a site called Webinar Swaps. Anybody remember that? Webinar Swaps, thank you, our one customer. Webinar Swaps was like JVZoo, but it was webinars only. And it was live webinars. So you could promote somebody's webinar. It didn't matter if you had a list of 10 and you couldn't get Jason Fladlin to do a JV deal with you because you couldn't put enough butts in seats. But now you could mail for him along with hundreds of other people that could also mail for that same live webinar, and they would all become the affiliates. So we wanted to incorporate that into automated webinars with all of the same whistles and bells that all of the other sites have out there, the just-in-time feature, the automatic setup pages that they register on. So we said, okay, yeah, that's cool. But here's the problem this is the problem that we ran into with webinar swaps. When you host a webinar for somebody, who here hosts webinars for people? They come on. You know, the big thing that makes that work, sit down please. The thing that makes the guy in the front row can't get up. The thing that makes that work is you have a list of followers. And I don't care if the person you're bringing in there is a famous guy or whatever. These people follow you because you send them tips and videos and they've bought your products and they trust you. So there's that trust factor. And now you're bringing in somebody, hey, I want to introduce you to Joe Blow, blah, 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 or Frank Kern or whoever it is. That trust is now transferring because, hey, why should you listen to this guy? Because I told you to. Because he's a friend of mine, or he's somebody that I do business with. He's somebody that I trust, somebody that I look up to. So that transference of trust, and that's why it's important that if it's your list, you actually host the webinar and be like, oh, we got a great webinar for you tonight, great training for you tonight. We're gonna bring in John Botwell, and he's gonna teach us how to do blah, blah, blah. You know, and then give the resume of John, you know, this is what he's done, this is how I know him, welcome back. And, and so you understand that trust factor moves over. Well, with the automated webinars, you don't have that trust factor. You have no introduction whatsoever. You're mailing your list to, might as well just be another sales page. So we found that by doing that, the conversion rates were actually lower than, much lower than that of a live webinar where the affiliate was able to introduce the person with his own words and descriptions. So we created something that was really cool, that allows every affiliate to take out their iPhone or whatever phone, hold it up there, or however, if you're a video production guy, whatever, you can make it as snazzy or fancy as you want to, but the easiest way is to just set up your phone and hit the record button and say, hey, it's E. Brian Rose, welcome back to another training session. We got a great webinar for you tonight. We're going to John Botwell. John is the leading expert in cow manure, and he's going to teach you how to blah, 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 or whatever it is. So you can create your own intro video. You can do just audio or video and upload it as an affiliate. Now when you mail your affiliate list, hey, we got an awesome training session for you. Click on this link, blah, blah, it starts in 1 hour or whatever. And they click on it, they sign up for the webinar, they put their name and email address in there, and the first thing they see is my video that I just uploaded. And it says, when the webinar starts, and it says, hey, we got a great training program for you, blah, blah, blah. Now, without further ado, here's John Botwell. So now John, when he uploaded his webinar, he uploaded it with a generic opening that said, hey, thanks for that awesome intro. Let's get started. So the viewer sees it as me, the affiliate, introducing John personally because he's a good friend of mine or because I follow him and trust him for whatever reason, and John over here going, hey, thanks for that great intro. Let's dive right into the content now. Is that cool?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you're very enthusiastic about this.
It's awesome.
We have tested this. Conversions through the roof. So most of the sites are about $65 a month. Seen some for $199, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So the ability to, Laura Castleman sent me this list. Don't forget to tell them about this. So automatic 5-day replay follow-up system. So you don't even have to email your list anymore. So you email your list one time, get them to sign up, let's say 100 or 200 people, sign up, watch the webinar. For the next 5 days, our system's gonna remind them to rewatch it again and again and again. Hey, you might have missed something the first time you watched it. Check it out, take notes this time, that kind of thing. We do the follow-up for you. So 5 times, every time somebody watches it doesn't matter if it's 5, 10, 20 times later, if they buy it, that affiliate gets the commission for it. So every affiliate has the ability to upload their own intro. So let's say 400 different affiliates mail for this. Depending upon which link you click in your email is gonna say, depend on who the actual introduction is done by. Now, if you're really, really camera shy and you absolutely won't do a video, that's okay. Then a generic video will open. It's actually got my voice in it saying, hey, welcome to another JV Zoo, we branded as JV Zoo, training session. So you don't have to do it, but we've split tested. And those that do make a quick video like that, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 12 seconds, whatever it is, just get your face in front of it, 55% more purchases were made by somebody just putting their face on there. So it's really, really neat concept, and it's got a chat feature as well. You know, how many people use Facebook Live? Facebook Live, when you watch the replays of Facebook Live, the chat will show up at the very time that, so if 1 minute into the video, John types in there, oh wow, I can't believe that. And me, I watch the replay of that Facebook Live video the next day. 1 minute in, I'm gonna see John's chat come up there that says, oh, you know, how'd you do that, or whatever he said. So we incorporated that feature into it to kind of give it the feel of live video as well. So there's be a chat box where people can, and you have the option of turning this off or on. So that's a really cool feature. And what else? Automated registration pages are built for you. And the best thing is, it's free. So, now you're excited, huh? Now you're excited. So everybody's been charging lots and lots of money for this. And we said, how can we get more people to use our system? Oh, we'll make it better. We'll put more features in there. Okay, we did that. Now, how can we make them, convince them to switch? It took a room full of about 12 people, and we realized, well, they pay for this over here. If they don't have to pay for it over here, that might work. So that's how we decided on free. So, free! So that's my little 3 minute that turned into 13 minutes.
Okay, well, that's the first part of the E. Brian Rose talk. The video was too long for YouTube to upload in one go, so we had to break it down into 2 pieces. Check out the next one, part 2. That's where E. Brian Rose talks about how to get your name in Google and how to get your profile set up so that you build authority under Google. Cheers.